So you said we just need to hang on until January 2029. And I need you to hear this. What if liking your life and living inside a terrible situation aren't opposites? What if they don't have to be opposites? What if it's both? I haven't wanted to be like, but I really disagree with it. The comment was, we just need to hang on till January 2029. But what I want to say to you is, you might be dead by January 2029. I know that's real blunt, and some people don't like to hang out with me because I talk about really heavy stuff sometimes. But if you are somebody who can handle conversations about what's real, that's the kind of conversation that I like to have here. And honestly, I have a friend who had terminal cancer. She passed away several years ago, and she was able to say 3 months before her death, I like being alive. And I think that there is a very big temptation to put your life on hold. You know, I think about people who have lived through giant events like world wars and the civil rights movement, people who are still fighting to be seen as a human, as a trans person, and as immigrants in the States. Things are so heavy in the States right now, and still life is today. And I think that there is the possibility to enjoy our lives even when our circumstances are very, very hard. And I mean, I've sort of bet my life on that. I have a family with kids who are not going to move out. You know, another way that this gets talked about, this sort of idea of putting your life on hold until someday. I hear people say it a lot, like, oh, when the kids graduate, I will blah, 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 whatever it is, you know? And I can't live that way, because I'm not going to have a someday where I won't have a couple of kids who are depending on me. I have kids with developmental disabilities. And so if this is the way that I was choosing to live, I would just put my life indefinitely on hold. If I was subscribing to this someday idea. And I can't live that way. This is my life now. In some ways, it is not going to get easier for me. And I think that that's reality. That's a reality that I think a lot of us don't grapple with. That there are always going to be hard things, and there are always going to be beautiful things. What if it's both? What if there are always going to be terrible realities? I surely hope that there will be a day when things are less intense and less horrible in the US, but also all through history, there have been hard things, right? People, women in their 40s, like you, like me, have lived through very difficult circumstances. And the choice is really not, is it going to get perfect? Like, is everything going to work out and be easy someday? It's not. No matter what changes, and like, I know that I feel a sense of existential exhaustion right now. I know that you do too. I've been talking to you about existential exhaustion, existentially tired. So being in your 40s is intense regardless. When there are just when it feels like a really hard time of history, that's not cool. I don't think any of us would have chosen to live through what is going on right now. So this is this hand, right? The real choice we have, though, is, are we going to also pay attention to this hand? Are we going to find things that we like about being alive, like my friend did, even when she had terminal cancer? When she had this cloud of existential dread, she chose to like being alive. And so I want to be talking about this hand. How do we like being alive? How can we really say that? If you don't like being alive right now, I get it. Like if you're just like, oh, I just need to power through and wait until whatever it is, January 2029, wait until the kids graduate, wait until things aren't so intense with my parent who's going through a thing. I don't want to be pessimistic. And I believe that there's a lot of beauty to be had, and I believe there are beautiful things to come for you and for me. I also know that there is always going to be this hand with like somebody in your life is going to be suffering. Maybe you're suffering. There are always going to be world events going on. And so I don't mean to ignore this hand, but what I do mean to say is your life is here, and there are things to like. There are things to like tea. I really love tea. I really love my plants. I love painting. Lately I've been painting. You may have seen my recent videos. I am painting a lot because I have a solo exhibition at a coffee shop in like 10 days. So I am painting. But like, what can we do when things are hard and when we have the temptation to just hide under the covers and buckle down and just push through? A lot of the 40s feels like that, but I don't want it to. I want us to be able to like our lives, even during really intense, hard times, like the sandwich generation that many of us are in, where we're caring for kids and then we're caring for parents. We have the choice to try and look for things that make us like being alive despite everything. So what if it's both? What if it's your life feels like a dumpster fire? The government feels like a dumpster fire in America, and that's negatively affecting the whole world really right now. There's the possibility of still being glad to be alive and to find beauty in your right now and to make beauty in your right now, right? Because some of this, I think, there's this temptation during hard periods to just be hopeless and to just try and grit our teeth and just survive it. And there is an element where some periods of our lives feel more like survival. They don't feel like thriving. So I'm not promoting toxic positivity here. What I'm trying to encourage you and myself, because I feel the some days, I feel the temptation in my own life. Some of my kids are going to move out. One of them has moved out. I love my kids, and also it's a lot to have 5 kids, and it's a lot to be responsible for. And I think that what I want to keep striving toward is not to have this like false belief that someday I'll feel more able to like my life, that I'll feel more able to enjoy being alive and to do the things I'm meant to be doing. Sure, there are time constraints when your kids are in your home, but can you still be doing things that light you up? Or even tomorrow, I'm going to be just talking about like, what if nothing lights you up right now? What if you are just existentially tired? And this idea of liking your life feels too far. Please subscribe if that's you, because I'm going to be talking tomorrow about like, what do we do when like feeling alive or liking our lives feels so outside of our reach. That has been me at points. I absolutely got to that point about a month ago, and then I mostly disappeared from YouTube and tried to figure it out. Like I was very burnt out, not just of YouTube, but just of like my responsibilities. I was really burnt out, and I have found some little ways to spark my love of being alive again. And so I want to bring you along for that. I want to encourage you in the very practical ways that I am figuring out how to like being alive at age 45, perimenopause, mom with Alzheimer's, kids with disabilities, and trying to make a business work. I've found some things that are helping, and it does not start with feeling alive. That's not where it starts. It starts at somewhere much more basic than that. So I would love to see you tomorrow as I talk about that. Some mornings, I don't really want to get out of bed sometimes, but I just start with like, thank you, God, that I am alive. Thank you that my children have a mom. Like these are privileges. Then how much more inspiring is it that somebody who knew, like, I mean, living is terminal, as they say. My friend, you know, she had a terminal illness, and she was able to find gratefulness and find enjoyment living in the midst of that. And I want to be like her. I want to learn from her and be glad to have breath. My name's Andy. I'm an artist and a mom. I live in Portugal. And I encourage you to look around and find some beauty today, no matter how small. See you later.